Hey everyone, my name is Ross Chevalier. I'm the founder of theguitarguy.ca. I'm here with my good friend Ken Doucette. It's coming up on the end of October, Ken, and for those of us who live in the northern climates,
the furnace is coming on.
Yeah, we're seeing that friend we haven't seen for a while.
That's true.
That's going to have an impact on our guitars.
Absolutely it will.
So one of the things that I've noticed, and as you know, I tend to keep my guitars out because visible means gets played, in case means gets forgotten. One of the things that I've noticed in the last couple of weeks is that just hanging on the wall, they've all gone sharp.
That's right. Well, we've gone from a very humid summer, a very hot, humid summer, and we're going into a drier season. Every time that furnace comes on, it's going to be robbing moisture out of our air.
So it's very important as a musician that you've got a decent humidifier on your furnace. What other things should people be looking at this time of the year?
Well, bearing in mind a humidifier on your furnace is great for human beings, but it's rarely adequate to for your musical instrument. Your musical instrument really wants to be between 45 and 50% humidity. So with the furnace ones, they might spike up to around 40, but they tend to dissipate very quickly. So the option is to buy humidifiers designed for your guitar.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. Lots of manufacturers doing it these days. Planet Waves does a nice one. Kaiser has their Soundhole one, and Oasis is the one I've been using lately.
Okay.
And it does great things for your instrument. Primarily as a player, it'll stabilize your instrument. It'll feel the same as it did all through the rest of the year. From a more economical viewpoint, it will protect your warranty. A dried out guitar is the one thing that will null and void any good warranty out there.
Now, folks think mostly about humidification in the context of acoustic guitars.
True.
But the rules still apply to electrics.
Absolutely they will. They won't react as drastically as an acoustic guitar, but once again, for having your guitar feel the same way it has been every time you picked it up, that little bit of humidity just, as I say, stabilizes the playability of the instrument.
Now, for an electric guitar, there's no sound hole to put one of these humidifiers into. I know the Planet Waves one slots between the strings.
That's right.
I'm not familiar with the Oasis, with the Kaiser plugs in the sound hole. It's got a big sponge in it.
Yep.
I use those on all my acoustics. What do you do for the electric guitar?
The Oasis, actually, they do put out a case humidifier. So it's the same idea, but it'll click into place in your case. It's a non-drip. It uses a gel that absorbs the water and releases it over the course of time. And the unit itself will shrivel up when it is dry, so it's very, very easy to spot when you need to recharge that humidifier.
Excellent. So that's in case. Now, what if you're someone like myself? You've got a guitar, a couple of guitars out on a stand, hanging on a wall rack, something like that. What about one of those in-room humidifiers? Does that help?
Absolutely it does.
So one of the water-based ones?
Exactly. If your room, if you have a door that you can close so you're containing that's always the best way. If you have the door open, the moisture will dissipate out to the rest of your house at that point.
Of course.
But absolutely, they're a great thing, and a little digital hygrometer, which we also have from Oasis, keeps you in the know at all times, takes the guesswork out of it.
I've got one of those up on the wall where I keep my guitars, and if it ever drops below 40%, then I've got something to concern myself with.
That's right, that's right.
Excellent. So any other maintenance or fall thoughts for folks? Obviously the humidification over a dry winter where the furnace is running going to be important, but some of our viewers are going to be in climes where they don't get 40 below.
Right.
Any other thoughts that folks should just be thinking about?
Well, I always used to use the statement that if you're comfortable, your guitar is comfortable. I mean, up where we are here in Newmarket, it gets pretty cold in the winter. People still need to take their guitars to their gigs or to the studio. Always trying to bear in mind you don't want the instrument to go through too much severe temperature change. If you're in a situation where your instrument has been in the car and it's been very cold outside, the worst thing you could do is fly that case open once you got inside.
Right.
We want to give it time to climatize. And generally, you bring it in and undo the latches on your case. Don't open the case, and that way it will start to acclimatize over the course of an hour or so, depending on the severity of the difference in temperature.
And another reason that I think that this is important, and correct me if I'm wrong, because in addition to being a great player, I also know that you're a brilliant tech. A lot of these vintage instruments that we're seeing coming out from our higher end manufacturers, they're going back and using that 50s style nitrocellulose finish.
Absolutely.
And unless I'm horribly mistaken, massive temperature changes can have a really negative effect on that finish.
Absolutely, that's a soft finish. Nitro really allows the wood to breathe. You know, what you probably notice is on old instruments of nitrocellulose is the crackling effect, the spidering effect, which I don't mind that myself, but I don't want to bring it on.
Well, if you can get a real 56 Strat
Yeah, exactly.
or a 58 Les Paul,
Yeah, that's part of the charm. But we probably don't want that to happen on our brand new guitar.
Okay, so humidification, manage the temperature extremes, let the guitars acclimatize to different temperatures as you're moving them around, but don't stop playing.
Don't stop playing.
Just because it's cold out.
We're taking all these precautions to make sure that guitar still plays like butter 12 months of the year.
Okay. Anything that we need to think about for amps or any of the electronics?
Once again, in a live style situation, if you're dealing with a tube amplifier, we don't want to take a hot tube out into 30 below weather. So the more we can sort of acclimatize and sort of babysit our gear, the longer you will be maintenance free, trouble free.
I think that's very key. One other thing that you might want to think about, folks, is that when you do come from very, very cold into, say, a club or a gig atmosphere where you've had people, the humidity level is going to be higher. You're going to get some condensation happening as the device warms up. So watch for corrosion buildup.
Good points. Yeah, absolutely.
Check those batteries
Yeah.
before you go out and plug in, because you
Words
might
of
be
wisdom.
unpleasantly surprised. All things that we can look at. Ken, thanks as always
My pleasure,
for
Ross.
being with us. I look forward to doing more sessions with you.
Absolutely.
I've been Ross Chevalier. This is theguitarguy.ca. Thanks very much for watching.
Thank you.